Hello friends and family. I know the title of this video, Do You Have Forgotten Treasure? Sounds a little clickbaity, but I think you will either already know about what I'm going to talk about or you will find it very interesting. I was sitting here going through some paperwork and I found the forms that my wife and I filled out to claim some funds from the state of South Carolina that was being held for us. And where these funds came from was when I lived in South Carolina, my home was supplied by an electrical co-op. And apparently after you have had service with this electrical co-op for so many years and they've stopped paying dividends. So we filed the forms and we received a check for about $140 about 6 weeks later. We also had some funds available in North Carolina that was being held, and we filled out the forms for those, and likewise, it was like $300. We received a check in about 6 weeks. And now these funds from North Carolina was from like some refunds that we were supposed to have gotten, some overpayments, and some stock dividends. I don't know why we did not get these checks because we've lived here for 25 years. Now, it's a real simple process. I'm going to quickly go over it with you, and then I'm going to show you an example. In the description of this video is the list of every state in the United States and the District of Columbia, and they have a link for their Treasury Department or the department that handles unclaimed funds. You'll go to the state, you'll search by any names that you have gone by legally, and if there's any matches, it will tell you how much. It will give you a rough amount of how much it is, and then you'll file the paperwork, and then once everything's satisfied, then you'll receive payment. These unclaimed funds, they can be from like savings accounts, checking accounts that you've not had any activity in, and then they've lost track of you, and you've gotten, they have to send, by state law, they have to send it to the state treasury department for you to be held. Some things are, like insurance accounts that might have cash value in it that you didn't have. In the description is kind of a listing of some of the things that where these funds come from. So anyway, it's like I said, it's real simple. Fill out the form, search. If you find a match, then you fill out the forms. Normally, you have to post it to the Treasury Department with notarized copies of your identification to prove that you're actually who you say you are. And that's it. So let's go over to an example, and we'll go to South Carolina. Okay, here we have the 50 states. And if you scroll down here, and that's all listed in my description for this video. Here is South Carolina. So you'll click on that, and you will get that right there. So what you'll do is, like in this case, you will go, let me use a common South Carolina name. You have to enter a last name or a business name. If you add a first name or a city, that's going to narrow your search. And let me add right here, you want to use any names that you've ever used. Maiden names, you've been married 4 times, you've got 4 different names. You want to use every one of them. And if you've lived in different cities, you want to search by that too. If you just use Johnson, in this case Johnson, and you search, and it's searching, you're going to get all of these names. Now over here it says amount. It's over 100. This excuse me, this Ada Johnson Realty has over $100. Whatever it says, accounts receivables from General Electric Company. So she would reach over here and hit claim. And then you click on this, view claim properties. I am this person. And then, then you file a claim. You'll enter all this current information, Social Security number, tax IDs, all of this. And if you wanted to say, how did you hear about us? If you did want to put in, saw a YouTube video about it, Queen City Picker, that would be good. And then you fill out all this information, and it just, I can't click on because I don't know all this information. So you click next, you would review your claim, and then the claim summary will show you what the claim is. Now this is different from when I filed. You would have to, this claim summary is probably where it's going to say you print this out and send in the required identification information. That might have changed. You might just fill this out, send it through there, and that's it. So it's not real hard. North Carolina, you printed out forms, you filled them out, you send in notarized copies of your identification, and then they processed it. As I said, there's all 50 states for you to check. So that's that. It's real easy. Go to the state Treasury Department that you lived in or you lived in, and search to see if you have any unclaimed property there. You want to use the links that I've got because those go directly to the states. There's some websites out there that you can key all your information in and they'll search for you. Those people get a finder's fee. And I've heard that it's up to 40%. So if you get $100, they're going to get $40 of it. If you do not find anything of your own, and you've looked through, all your different aliases, all the different states that you lived in, you can always, also check for, like, maybe you have a deceased parent or both your parents are deceased. Check and see if anything has been posted for them. I have some cousins that are filing for a claim on something of their father's who is deceased, and their mother is deceased too. It gets more complicated because then you've got to get all the heirs to sign off on it. You've got to have copies of the will, and you've got to have signatures of all the heirs to sign, saying that y'all are requesting this information, this funds, and so it can get complicated. If you have an uncle that did not have any children, check under his name, because you could be the heir for it. So anyway, that's it. Real simple. And I hope you find some money. I hope you find something, because there's a lot of it out there. A friend of mine here in Charlotte, she's got 8 things that she's filing claims for. And it was stuff like refund checks and that type of thing. So that's that. Like I said before, the links are just, they go directly to the state. I do not get any kind of finder's fee or any of that kind of mess off of it. It's just, goodwill. And I hope y'all find a bunch of money. If you find something, if you wouldn't mind coming back to this video and say, hey Tom, we found a little something. That's all I'd like to know. Just that somebody's looked at this video and they found something. Also, if you wouldn't mind liking, subscribing if you're not already subscribed, and share it on your social media so people can find out about it if they don't already know about it. Because there is a statute of limitations that at some point, when funds have been in these state offices, they can say it's totally abandoned and the state claims it. So I personally would rather you have your funds or your family's funds than the state. So that's it. Like I said, how about leave a comment, good or bad, I don't care. Like it or thumbs down it, whichever you care about. And if you wouldn't mind, like I said, sharing it on your social media, so you will, so other people can find out about it. So that's it. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section, and I'll try to answer it. Thanks. Have a great night.